Hello,
Hey!
ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
My Joker impression.
Good job.
Yeah, we are here to do our spoiler review of Inside Out, possibly one of Pixar's greatest films to
Yes,
date.
indeed.
And it was so good, and this is our spoiler review. So if you have not seen the film, please add this to your favorites or watch later, or likes, or anything like that, and then come back later and watch it after you've already seen the film. And if you don't mind spoilers, then cool. 'Cause
Yeah.
we're gonna be talking all about it. So.
Indeed. I mean, we're gonna really spill it tonight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, how about you start us off?
You start us off. Okay.
Yeah.
To me, this is possibly like one of the greatest Pixar films of all time. To me, in 2 years, I see people saying that this will be in the classics with Up, with Toy Story. Like, people will be like, let's look back at some of the great Pixar films. We have Toy Story, we have Monsters, Inc., we have Up, WALL-E, and Inside Out. People will just like, automatically remember like Inside Out for what it was. It's a classic. It's an instant classic. I've never seen such an instant classic as what Inside Out was. And so that was one part, but really what made it such a beautiful thing to watch was the way, the creativity it had in it, the way that, it's the most creative idea for a film I've ever seen, where it's like all these emotions are inside your head, controlling your head, and there's like in people form. They're like able to control you with buttons and everything. And it's cool, and that's what Pixar's main goal in life is, to make you cry. I told him I bawled 3 times in this movie.
He did.
It's crazy. It will make you cry if you're a crier.
Which I'm not. I lost my tear sacks in the war, evidently, because I cannot cry at a movie. He thinks I'm heartless because I didn't cry at Les Mis.
He still is. And but
But that doesn't
You did
mean
cry,
I didn't
yes.
tear up, okay? It was
Yeah,
a very
he did
emotional
tear up,
movie.
yeah.
I have never felt so many emotions
in one movie, yeah.
in a movie that was about emotions.
It's a movie about anger, sadness, disgust, and joy.
And what do you
And
know?
I felt
Those are the main
all of
characters.
and I felt all of
Yeah,
those as well.
you end up feeling all of them, yeah.
And yeah.
And I think that was their main goal. Their main goal was to make you feel all of the different emotions
Yeah.
for those, for the characters and stuff like that.
And I think this is honestly the best character development Pixar's ever done too, because
Yeah.
of the way not only did you fall in love with every character, but each character you fell in love with for different ways, like
Yeah.
different reasons you fell in love with them. They each had their own lovable factors to them. Like sadness was all sad and gloomy, always laid down. That's what
She
you
loved
about her.
everything that was
And-
morose.
And I know you don't know Philly Smith. She's from The Office, but she was a great voice cast. She was amazing as Sadness. And then Mindy Kaling. I mean, I wasn't big into Disgust, but she was hilarious too. And,
Yeah.
Anger. Lewis Black as Anger was like,
That
oh
was
my
great.
gosh, he was
It
hilarious.
was great.
And then Amy Poehler, I'll always love her. As Joy was great. Bill Hader's Fear was awesome. They just had great chemistry together. And whenever they're all together, they worked in such a beautiful way that was so beautiful to watch. And that this is both, mentally, the way it just affects you mentally and emotionally. It's and also like the way you see it on screen is beautiful. And to me, those are pretty much all my biggest positives. Is that this is how much of an emotional impact this had on me, because it brought back so many memories. Like all the stuff that I dealt with, Riley dealt with. I looked back at her, and that's why I cried so many times. Is I was like, well, I remember wanting to run away from home. I remember not fitting in school. I remember all of that, and it's like it all just came back to me. All my younger times came back at me. What I love about Pixar is they always bring the kid in you. So it's like
Yeah.
and so I felt the little kid in me as well, and it was It was just all around. It was just, oh my gosh, it was fantastic.
Yeah, it was really good. And what I liked about it was the story. You know, the way they did things in this movie. It was so different from any other movie that I've ever seen before. I mean, the concept of it all, that the different emotions are like different people, different versions of you that are in your head controlling things and things like that. And that's the kind of the way my imagination worked when I was little. I used to think about things like that, how there may be like people in my head or something like that. Not specifically that, but things like that. And it brought back a lot of memories on like the ways that I would imagine things, and and a lot of the things in the movie, like the vast like shelves upon shelves of like the what was it, the long-term memory department and all that stuff. It was like the endless tunnels of the long-term memory where there's like memories upon memories, and I like the way they did memories. It's like their memories are in like these like glass balls or whatever. And
yeah,
you can replay the memory like a video as
much
as you want.
Cool.
I thought that was
and
great.
Then, whenever sadness would touch the memory, she like affected it fully.
And it was like become a sad memory.
Which, by the way, that was actually to me one of the highlights of the film. Is the message in this film too is that at the end where she's like, sadness, you're actually needed in the group.
Right.
I was thinking
like halfway through the movie, Joy is all like, I need her to be happy and all that stuff, and we need to make her happy. Everybody, even like, Fear, Anger, and all them are all like, she needs to be happy. And they were putting a huge emphasis on her being happy, but I was thinking, like, you can't be happy all the time. Sometimes you need those other emotions to balance it out. If happiness is a monopoly of your emotions, you can't really get very much out and get out what you're trying to feel and all that stuff. So I was like, yeah, that's definitely the message. So it's okay to be sad sometimes, it's okay to be angry and all that stuff, but you gotta have it balanced. You gotta have for the emotions in the movie, like the different emotions and stuff, they had to work together and all that stuff to keep a balance between each other and all that stuff, which is why in the end they got the bigger keyboard and all that so that they could work together in a more efficient manner. Yeah. And also what I loved about it was its humor. I laughed throughout the whole movie, and I felt, now I'm pretty weird. I lost, like I said earlier, I lost my tear sacs and all that stuff, so I didn't cry very much, but I felt good actually throughout most of the movie, and I found it interesting how, more of the concept, the different islands of her personality and all that stuff. I just thought it was great, I really could appreciate that kind of imagination, because I'm such an imaginative guy, I can, like, the Bing Bong, the
Bing
imaginary
bong,
friend.
yeah.
I kind of relate to that, because when I was really little, I had an imaginary friend, and I haven't thought about him in years, and like he's in the deep recesses of my long-term memory tunnels and all that stuff, and if I went searching through him. Through those long-term memory tunnels and all that stuff, I'm sure I'd find him, and he'd be just as sad and lonely, because, he's been, roaming those tunnels for, forever and all that stuff. So,
yeah.
it was an interesting concept.
You know who he reminded me of?
Very fun. What?
What's her name? That unicorn from the Lego movie. In a way.
Yeah.
She kind of reminded me, or he kind of reminded me of that, like, her from, like, Cloud Cuckoo Land or something like that. Whatever that was in the Lego movie. It kind of felt like the same character. It was that fun, lovable, imaginary character who loved his whole
I love that part where
place.
he's like, so you say that your husband was blown away by an elephant. Was he with anybody? Yes, actually, that person...
Oh yeah, so
that was great.
That was great. I think one of the saddest parts of the film was he died.
Yeah, he died.
Killed him off.
He didn't die. He got forgotten.
Well, I know, but
It's like for real. Like
technically
she's never gonna
forgot-
ever,
you
ever,
even for-
ever. She's never gonna ever remember her imaginary friend.
Yeah.
From
so
that
he,
point forward.
technically he did die.
Technically, he died.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
But,
faded away into nothing.
So he actually like caused suicide because he was helping, you know, his friend go
Yeah.
up there. That was like a sweet emotional part. That was another part I bawled crying at. But it was like so well done the way he just fell in love with him. And I love the little things they had saved for the credits, by the way, because like I love the parts they had during the credits where you get to see all the other emotions and
Oh yeah,
people's heads.
and it's like
And,
you know
yeah.
she walks up to the guy who dropped his water bottle. All of a sudden he gives it back to him. And it goes inside his head. And it's like girl alert! Ah!
Yeah, that's what I love is about this film, and Pixar does this a lot. Is I feel like they've touched all ages with this film,
All
which is
ages and all
never-
types of people, really.
which has never been done. I don't think in a Pixar movie, and maybe not even any movie. Like Up, I could say that is not for kids. That is for adults. Toy Story, is for kids. I could say all this, but there's never been one that's for teenagers, for kids, and for adults that I've seen. This is for all of them. It fits in perfectly. I'm the type of guy who, whenever I see a girl, it's like, oh no, girls, what do I say? What do I do? What do I do? What? Huh? Because we're teenagers, and that's how our brains react. And then, like, whenever the husband's like, oh my gosh, it's great. Like, Dose would love this because the husbands, whenever they were watching the hockey game, instead of listening to their wife and what he was saying, that's how men think. They think
She's
of
looking
they
at us.
Think of the games. Like, she's looking at us. What do we do? Should we put down the foot? Not the foot. Put the foot down. So it was like it was great. And then like the part where the girls are like imagining, of course, another hot celebrity other than their husband. That's to me like was another.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, to me that was another funny.
Anyways,
Fine.
yeah, I mean, the thing that I liked the most about it really was just the creativity and the story. I mean, it was a great story, and it got a great message
Yeah.
across, you know, and it, like you said, it was a beautiful movie, you know. I mean, the animation was great, and I loved the characters in it, and, you know, Joy was a little... I mean, I could see why she was a little demanding, like, she was the leader, obviously, but the fact that she felt herself as the leader, she saw herself, obviously, as the leader, she had to have it her way, she had to always have it, you know, Riley had to be happy, right, but, I mean, in the end,
Yeah.
she realized that she couldn't control everything, you know, she had to let some things go, in order to keep a balance, you know, in order to make other people happy.
Yeah, I know. It's just like a message we all want, you know. It's
Yeah.
sweet, it's soft, and to me, this is actually kind of intense too. To me, I actually felt intensity. It was another emotion I felt. I felt very intense watching this. It was as intense as Toy Story 3. Whenever they're all holding hands in Toy Story 3, going down that
Yeah.
thing about to die. Where also I bawled in that scene too. But whenever that was
Yeah.
happening, that was like so intense because I thought they were actually going to die in that movie, and I
Right.
was like, I think that one of the main characters might die in this movie because it's like intense. I don't know how they're gonna get back and stuff. It was
Yeah.
like it actually made me feel that way. I don't typically feel that way in movies, so
Right.
that's one thing that
So,
so
I mean...
this movie did it for me. I think that it will win the best animated picture. I think that it will and should be nominated for best picture because this is one of my favorite movies of the year,
Yeah.
easily, if not my favorite.
It was definitely it was one of the best movies of the year.
Yeah.
It was, and
and
it was,
one of the best Pixar movies.
and it was a lot of fun to go see, and it was really good. So, what would you rate it then?
Well, first off, do you have any negatives of the film, maybe?
I mean, not that I can think of at the top of my head, which is kind of weird.
I
I
know.
mean, usually movies have at least one negative, right?
I can't really think of a negative. I mean, I loved Disgust as a character. She was funny. She was all that.
she was funny.
But I think I would have liked to have seen more of her. I don't think they really did enough with her character, in my opinion. I thought that they, had fear, anger, sadness, and joy in there as main characters. But they kind of had her as like a side character in a way.
Yeah.
I thought they could have had her in there a lot more.
Maybe
with
a
the
little
group.
bit more, yeah.
But it's just a small negative. It wasn't like anything
Yeah,
too big.
yeah.
But to me, I still rate this sucker a 10 out of 10, baby. I'm rating it fully. I don't do that movies. This guy can tell you I rate movies always with like a 9 something, or would lower my rating, or reduce that, make like 8s and 9s are always what I go with. But this one just touched me in so many ways. This is easily a 10 out of 10 for me.
Yeah. It was definitely an amazing movie.
Yeah.
You should go see it.
What would
If
you
you
rate?
haven't. I don't know. I mean, I'm not really the rating kind of guy, but I think it's pretty up there. I think it's up there.
Yeah.
10. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So I think that's both 10s for us. It was a great film.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, I like to be stingy with my ratings. I mean, even though I give a lot of movies a higher rating, but I never really give a movie like a 10.
Same here.
But I honestly, I can't logically give it a 9.5 or something
This is
like
my
that.
only. This is like my second movie I've given a 10 this year. I mean, Kingsman is like a 9.8 because of a situation that's been fixed now. So I guess that's kind of like a 10 now. But really, I guess my only 10s is actually this year has the most 10s out of all the years. Like, really is that, you know, Kingsman to me is very close to 10. But Mad Max was like a 10. I was like, okay, nothing else is really going to get a solid 10. And then this movie came and just blew it out of the park for me. It was like, man, it just blew away my expectations. I mean, it was Pixar, so I knew it was going to be good. But
I knew it was Pixar,
Yeah.
right? And so I was expecting a good movie. And going into it, I was like, man, I hope I don't like feel sad throughout this whole movie. But it made me laugh, and I was happy throughout the whole thing, and that was great. And I was really blown away because I didn't really have major expectations for it,
Same here.
really at all. I hadn't heard too much about it.
I mean,
I saw the commercials, and I thought it was a
saw the
great
trailers.
concept, but I didn't know how well it was going to turn out. It turned out great.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, like I said, you know, I can't logically give it a 9.5 or 9.8 if I can't find any negatives for it. So I guess 10 it is.
Same here. Like, honestly, that one small negative didn't affect the movie for me at all because I thought Disgust was still used perfectly. I thought all the characters were used perfectly, and that really I would just. There's no negatives for me. I would give it a 10. There's not.
Now, I mean, a
no
negative
negatives.
that's outside of the movie. I hope this. I mean, already it's been sponsored, and like the movie itself has been, you know, being sponsored in so many different things, like, you know, like commercials and stuff like that. It's gonna become the next Frozen. You know, there's gonna be like toys all over
that
the place.
song that like.
That jingle, I mean, like, that's not gonna
song,
end up.
That's gonna be.
That
like,
may end up in like a
everyone's
toy
head.
or something like that, but
Yeah.
I mean, like they didn't. It wasn't a musical, so there was nothing really to get into your head.
Yeah.
You know, but nonetheless,
but
I
wasn't
hope
that-
it doesn't become like
No.
overly, you know, like a. I hope it becomes a sensation,
Yeah,
but I hope it
because-
doesn't get old. I
Because
don't want.
when
I don't want Inside Out to get old.
When I first saw Frozen, I thought Frozen, it wasn't nearly as like amazing as this. You know, like it wasn't nearly that great. Like this was like life changing. That one was just like, it was just a fun film. And then I heard Let It Go on the radio over and over. I saw like they even had their own brand of cereal. They had everything, and I was just like, okay,
It was
this
ridiculous.
is like, it's ruined my vision of Frozen, and now
Yeah,
I
and
just
it
can't
was a
look at
good
it.
movie, and then
Yeah.
it got really old really fast. And I hope that
Exactly.
Inside Out doesn't get really old. Really
I don't think it is. I think that people are still always going to love it and always going to talk about it because of how great of a film it is. I think that because of how great of a film it is and how, like I said, it's life changing. It will make you think back, like, have I been a good father to my daughter lately? Have I been a good daughter to my parents lately? Have I been a good child? It will make you think and make you go back and look at your life and see
Yeah.
what things you need to change and what things you could do better. And that's why I think like films that can actually like change your life and can make you think of it, think about your life, and make you think of what you're doing are like true masterpieces. And this is a true masterpiece in the work. Like seriously, it's maybe like possibly in my top like 10 of all time. Maybe that's how much I love this. It's like Toy Story is like my only Pixar movie. The Toy Story trilogy I count as one. Is in my top 10 movies of all time, and that's the only Pixar movies that are. And so this one could be added in there though, because it's so good.
Yeah.
It just blew away everything. I loved it. You guys should go see this movie.
Yeah. Definitely.
Trust me, whether you're an adult, so many adults were laughing in theater with us. Whether you're an adult, a kid, and a teenager. Like I said, it relates to everybody.
It does.
You all will love it, no matter what age you are. And even like if you're old and you're just like, I don't want to see it because it's Disney Pixar, you're never too old for a nice kid laugh. I mean, your kid's in there, you'll be watching your kid smile, even if you're not excited about it. But trust me, it will touch you and resonate with you in ways like it did with me.
Yeah, well.
And I'm not even a father yet, too, so it's like.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you tune in for our next video that we'll have. Are we going to do like the top 10 Pixar movies?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it's like a trend going on right now. So everybody's doing that.
So we got to do that. So we're going to do our top 10 Pixar movies in our next video, and we hope you tune in for that. Subscribe!
Stay classy.
That's right, guys. All right.
I'm very
All right.